I want to thank everyone who attended my town hall meeting in Ogdensburg about the proposed closure of the Ogdensburg Correctional Facility. It's the personal stories that are going to help us keep the facility open, and I can bring those stories to my colleagues here and make them understand what it really means to the folks in the North Country to have a prison closed. I want to invite you, if you weren't able to attend, to go to this link to see what was said at the public forum, and I hope that you'll help continue to advocate for the Ogdensburg Correctional Facility.
Good afternoon. My name is Joe Balcom. I'm a corrections officer at Ogdensburg. I've been in this department since 2000. It's taken me 7.5 years to get back to the North Country, working my way from downstate to here. I'm from Clayton, New York. My home jail is actually Cape Vincent, but it's taken me 7.5 years to get to this point. And now I'm hearing that I might have to go to do it all over again for another 8 to 10 years. I still have 2 kids in high school and 1 in college. I need to be here for my kids. Please, come on.
Hi, my name is William Sellers. I'm a sergeant with the New York State Department of Corrections. Worked at Ogdensburg for 23 years. They decided to promote me and they sent me downstate, currently working at Woodburn Correctional Facility. You always keep saying 284 families. There's more like 600 families. If you check that transfer list, if the state would take into consideration the transfer list to each facility, Ogdensburg has a transfer list that's probably one of the highest in the state. They come up here, they recruit these young kids up here, they send them downstate, they're running those facilities down there, and believe me, some of them are 10 times less efficient than this one up here. This one up here runs well, it's like a family in there. Some of these people I grew up with. I know their kids' names, their wives' names, everything. We've been since 1982 when the thing opened. I got here in '84, and I'll tell you what, they're pretty tight down there, and they do a great job. But there's more than 284 families. I'm one of them. Mike Powers is one of them. We're downstate. We're trying to come home. With the closure of that facility, that just about ices that. We're going to spend the rest of our careers down there. So we want to thank you and Mr. Kelly and Mayor Nelson, everybody that's been down there beating the drum for us. We really appreciate it, and we just want to make sure that everybody stays up, stay up. People, you got to go. When they ask you to go, go do it. Thank you.
Thank you, William.
Corrections. And in that time, I've worked with a lot of real good guys and women. And prior to that, I was a farmer. My grandfather and my father had a farm in Morristown. My wife and I took over in 1976, and because of all the negatives and not enough positives, I had to quit. And one night I sat at the house after chores and everything, and I saw the test for correction officer, and I said, I think I can do this. And so far, the state has kept me on. Thank God that job was there. Thank God for Chuck Kelly and all the other members that were able to get these facilities up here. Because I don't know where I would be or where my family would be without them, Chuck. There was an officer from Jefferson County. I can't tell you his name now because this was back in 1991, 92, somewhere around there. He had 2 young kids, 4 or 5 years old. And they used to cry every time when he left to come back down to work. This one day, those 2 children locked themselves in his car so he couldn't go. They were crying. They said, Dad, don't go, don't go. The officer wound up quitting, and he'd had 3 or 4 years on the job. And for these people, I can't tell you how relieved I was when I got home, and the day I was permanent. I came to Riverview in May of '94, and I became permanent just before Christmas that year. That was the best news I'd had in the 4 or 5 years that I'd been in.
I spent a lot of time in Albany fighting for us, Nice Coba and whatnot, but this right here is a travesty because our commissioner, when he took office as an appointee as Commissioner of Corrections, there was about 498 staff in Building 2. That's the headquarters for Albany, for the corrections department, if you don't know what Building 2 is. Present day, he's got almost 1,000 employees down there, and he tells us we've got to cut back up here. Why isn't he cutting back, Dee Dee, down there? What kills me, again, is what I just said, the overcrowding. And what really kills me is our commissioner has not even made an effort to come to Watertown Correctional Facility. I don't believe he's been to Ogdensburg or Riverview. He's never even been up here. That really troubles me when we have a commissioner that won't come up here and see what he's actually doing by closing a facility like this, if that's what he's proposing. So my challenge, it's from me to the commissioner. If he thinks that the prisons aren't overcrowded, maybe we all know how it is if we're correction officers, maybe he should work 11 to 7 shift where he's locked in with no keys, with 60 or more convicts, and let's see if he makes it through the night. I'll bet you he won't make it through the night.
This is my worst nightmare. This was my fear last year. I was scared of this. We talked in January. I've watched GM. I've watched Alcoa. I have no relatives that work for Department of Corrections. I'll disclose that right now, but I got a lot of friends and a lot of customers here that do. Chuck, one question. What is the cost of a bus to take down to Albany? 1,800?
We've got them as 35 down to 12, but it looks like we're going to go with the 1,800.
Well, as a business owner in a little different venue, I pledge $500 from each one of my 2 businesses. I am the ripple effect. I know what this will do. My businesses the last 2 years, these are the toughest 2 years we've ever had. I support you 100%, and I'll do all I can. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to thank everyone first for coming together on this issue. And I just wanted to say that my father is Matt Tolman. I'm Lindsay Tolman. And he works currently down in Manhattan. We live in Ogdensburg. His home jail is Ogdensburg Correctional Facility. And I'm one of 3 children. I believe it's important to hear from many perspectives, not only the adults, but as a child, having a father that works in corrections all my life, it's very important to have your father be there for you as a child. I mean, I'm going into college next year, and I have a younger brother and sister, and we're heading into college very soon. And it's important to have your parents there for you your whole life. My father has been transferred downstate. He's in Edgecombe right now, and he's had to work his way up to the North Country a few times now. And it's tough on us children, and it's tough on the families that have had to go through the same thing. And it's very important that all of the families that have been going through this also, we see a happy result from it, because it's tough to have your family and your relatives go downstate and have to work their way up years and years to get back to their hometown. It's just very important that we keep fighting to have Ogdensburg Correctional Facility stay open, because I want my father back home. And I'd just like to thank everyone once again for coming together on this issue. And we're doing the right thing, I believe. And I just thank you all once again. And I know all of the families that are going through this same thing too. We all hope for the best, and I hope for the best. And I hope Ogdensburg Correctional Facility stays open, and we will put up a fight to make that happen. So thank you.